international break, or the England game's coming up. World Cup is fast approaching. If you were picking England's best team, what would that be? And sort of, do you think that would have a chance of winning the World Cup?
They've got a chance, of course. I think it's going to be very difficult, just where it is. I think the heat there, obviously, I've played out there in the MLS, and trying to recover from games is different to what it is over here. Just the heat, the humidity over there. So I think it will be tough, but England have got a chance just because they've got good players and they've got a good manager. I think Tuchel started off a bit slow, didn't it, with Tuchel? And them games are horrible, playing, Andorra and these teams who sit in, they're not enjoyable games.
They're the only ones I got picked for.
We'll get back to Wazza in just a quick second, but remember, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification button so that you know when the next Big D video hits. And as ever, if there's something on your mind, if something is bubbling up inside of you that you need to express, please express it in the comments. Big D reads all of the comments, and he's always interested in what is on your mind. Anyway, in this clip, Wayne Rooney talks all things England, who should be going to the World Cup, what players need to be playing, what players need to be dropped. He also talks about some of the number 9s that we used to have back in the day playing for England, and his concern with regards to only having one world-class number 9. Anyway, stick around for after the clip, because Big D is going to be giving his thoughts on this situation. And can England win the World Cup? Stick around for after the clip and I will tell you which way, yes or no. Here's Wazza.
Well, them games are horrible, but I think we're gradually seeing better performances, and I think he's been decisive in his decisions. I think leaving Jude out. Jude will be in the squad for the World Cup. He has to be. But
I think to be in the team.
No, I don't think he has to be in the team. I'd have him in the team, but I think what he's done, he's set a mark down with the players, and Foden's been out the last couple of squads, and then he's come back into it. These players have to be in the squad. I'm not saying they need to be playing in the team, and the team needs to be set and settled in terms of what suits the team. So in World Cups, you need these games he's played. You can afford to have 2 midfielders in there, or when you're coming up against the best teams, you need 3 midfielders in there who are going to work. And then we never really done that to be in our time. Whatever, but you need.
So could that work right now with Elliot Anderson, Declan Rice, and Jude Bellingham?
Yeah, I think Jude works.
Yeah, Phil in there. He's been good this season. I think he is going under the radar as well.
I love Phil Foden. Phil Foden's my favourite England player. I love him. I think he's brilliant, and he struggled a little bit last season, but if Phil's playing fit, in my opinion, he needs to play as well. So that's the problem.
Where would you,
that's the problem Thomas Tuchel has. That's why he's England manager.
Where would you play Phil Foden?
Tuchel said he's not seen him as a winger. He's a central player. He said.
So who doesn't play then?
Well, I think it's a difficult situation because it was the whole debate last time. Foden on the left didn't really work. You've got Saka on the right. You've got Bellingham, obviously, put in some good performances in the last tournament. So I want to see him in that number 10.
I know. So what is it then?
I think maybe Bellingham drops back.
No,
I
think
no.
So Bellingham drops back to centre midfield. So who's on the bench? So and
I actually don't think Foden plays.
I don't.
I don't think he plays as much. He's totally his favourite player.
He's your favourite player.
Yeah, he's my favourite player. But I think in the big games against the better teams, I think Jude can play in the 3 midfield because he's more of a he will work. He will be more box to box than what Foden. And I think Saka and Anthony Gordon have to play if fit.
Not Rashford on the left.
No, for me, I just think Saka and Anthony Gordon. Saka's been brilliant for England.
Around Harry Kane.
And then Gordon, again, he works back, but also he's pace running behind. Rashford's more takes the ball. I know he can run in behind, but more taking the ball to feet. And I'd have Marcus as a coming off the bench, and maybe for Harry Kane later on in games, especially when England are in a good position.
So Foden doesn't play.
Do you think, though, with the way that Foden's been playing for City, where he has been playing quite a bit deeper, like I thought he was quite crucial in the way that City built out yesterday against those teams that do press high. Do you not think against certain opposition it could work for England, where you have the midfield 3 that we've probably always wanted to see in an ideal world of Rice, Bellingham and Foden. Like, you could have Bellingham kind of dropping deeper to help out at times and Foden pushing on. Like, against the bigger teams, when you come to like quarter-final, semi-final, you're probably going to want an Anderson in there or maybe a Wharton alongside Rice to kind of help break play up. But I think it could work. Like
you always, I don't think kind of in big games, and you always see there's players in teams who you think, how are they playing? How are they playing in that team? No, like say for Spain or whatever, there's players in there and you think, how are these playing? But do you give so much to a team? Jason Park used to with us at Man United. These players give so much to the team, who give you Bellinghams and your Rashford or Gordon or whoever it is, gives them a little bit of freedom because you know they're going to work. Where I think with them team midfield, you're bringing Declan Rice back where he's been playing so well in a more advanced position. So someone like Anderson in there who you might think, oh, how's he going to get in the team? Phil Foden's a better player than him. But I just think he might be better suited to England team for us to be successful.
No, I agree with that with Wayne. I think sometimes with Phil Foden, I watched him midweek. I was at the game. I wasn't in the away end. I was in the in the press box. But I think when you look at someone like Phil Foden, it's hard to look at him play well for Man City and I think he should play for England because we've seen him play well for Man City for about, how long's he been in the team now? 7 or 8 years. Yeah. He hasn't quite played well for England. So I think Phil probably would, and it's right, should be getting judged on his England performance. We know how good he is for Man City.
You don't want a situation where people are getting picked for, just because they're a name. Do you know what I mean? We've had that in the past. And also, I've seen Tuchel talk, and I think he is prepared to drop. Well, we've seen Bellingham. I know we've seen him get taken out of the squad and stuff like that. I think Tuchel's going to build a team rather than just putting all the big names in. I mean, not to just bring it back to club football straight away, but you look at Liverpool, how good of a team they were last season. You throw in a load of big names, and it's not panned out. So the same applies to international football. And if
I think
you want to build a team, don't you?
Good manager. He's in what he's done, how successful he's been. In his eyes, I'd imagine he's thinking, I'm here for the World Cup, and that's it. Yeah. So he doesn't have to think beyond that. So I think it's telling when he's picking some players because he's thinking, I've got this one shot at winning the World Cup. So he's not thinking about relationships with Bellingham or Foden or whoever moving beyond this. He's thinking, I'm picking the squad which I feel is best to win the league, and I think we have to trust him with that because...
Do you think he's going to rock the boat a bit then with some of the moves he does make? Like, do you think he's going to leave out some of these big names in the summer, or...?
Why not? He could do, yeah. I think he's obviously looking. He's brought the young lad Scott in from Bournemouth as well. He wants to have a look at him before the World Cup. So I still think there's room for players to come in and players to lose the place in the squad, definitely. Yeah.
I feel like that squad's quite close to what it's probably going to be, though, right? I feel like that's the closest we've been. The only thing I would say is that there's no other striker in there other than Kane. I know he's not picked one.
That is a worry, definitely.
Based on, I think he said it was fitness. Do you worry about... I think Kane's got the World Cup, I think the Euros, he probably still will be around as well. Do you worry about England's kind of lack of success?
Danny Welbeck's got to go.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like for tournaments past.
Yeah,
like
no, but I think for me,
yeah,
just the game in general, there's not that many number 9s out there anymore. Yeah. Where if you think back from Euro '96, you think of the forwards England had to pick from then. Yeah. You know, Ian Wright,
Fowler, Shearer,
Fowler, Sheringham, Chris Sutton. Yeah. The amount of strikers England had to pick from then. And now, I think the goal scorers really, Barron, Haaland, Kane, Mbappe, come from wide areas. Yeah. That's where a lot of teams are scoring the goals from. So kids are growing up. My lad, striker, then he moved out to right hand. I'm like, get back up front. I'll put you up there. But I think young kids now are seeing these flair players playing out wide. And,
like the wide strikers.
Yeah, and that's what they want to do. And so the number 9 is going out the game a little bit. But when you've got a number 9 like Kane, that's the concern for me, is he has to play. But I think for 20 minutes of games, towards the end, as he's getting a little bit older, you want someone fresh legs up there, and I just can't tell you who is.
Is there anyone that's like Delap or anyone like that sort of stands out? I know he's not been fit for a while at Chelsea, he's just come back, and obviously was suspended as well, but I'm trying to think who else.
He did mention in the press conference, he mentioned about Foden saying he was going to play him in one of the games as like a false. I'm sure I read that somewhere. Did you see that?
Yeah, and he's been there before. Like we won the league without a striker. And I know we had Jesus, but he was injured quite a lot. And Aguero was coming right to the end of his career. 2020-21, we didn't have a striker. Like we won the league. So Foden's got experience playing in that kind of false nine. I'm not sure how that'd work.
Still got Bellingham to like crash the box, haven't you, as well? That's kind of what he does best, so could work, I suppose.
Right.
There's absolutely no reason why England can't win the World Cup. They've certainly got a team, or shall I say, a collection of players that are good enough to win the World Cup. I mean, you've got Marcus Rashford. I mean, he's won the Europa League. You've got Jude Bellingham, who's won a Champions League. You've got Harry Kane, who's smashing it for Bayern Munich, who's won a Bundesliga title, I think. You've got Phil Foden, who's won a Champions League. Cole Palmer, he's a world champion. You've got Saka, who's doing really well in playing for Arsenal. You've got John Stones, Champions League. You've got I mean, even all those players as a team playing for England, they've gotten to 2 Euros finals, both of which probably should have won. So they've got the experience. They've got a bunch of players there who are in their prime. It's just, I mean, they've actually got a good squad. I mean, on paper at least, they've only really got, in my opinion, 3 teams that realistically could be beating them, and that's France, Portugal, Spain. Because Spain have got a good side, and they beat England in the last Euros final. So yeah, I mean, Italy, nah. Germany, we should be beating Germany. We should be beating the world champions, Argentina, but you never know. Brazil are a good side. They could potentially do something as well. But point being, England, they've got all the talent in the world that they need to win that World Cup for the first time since 1966. But it just seems to me that whenever it comes to England, it's just deja vu over and over and over and over again. One of the refreshing things about England being absolutely rubbish, I nearly swore there, circa 2012, 2014, was there was no expectation. You know, so we could relax when it came to an international tournament. And then when we got our act together for the 2018 World Cup, then, you know, everything was a bonus and we really enjoyed it. But then after that, the expectation rose again because we had a generation of player come through who starts winning everything at club level, and then naturally we start to think that England should be winning a World Cup. So here we are back to square one, and it's almost like it's 2004, or should I say 2002 to 2010 all over again. A squad brimming with talent, a squad brimming with players who have won Champions Leagues, who have won Premier Leagues, La Ligas, and all of that good stuff. So, and with a foreign manager. Here we go. And another thing that seems to be reminiscent of days gone by, it's that thing of who plays, who gets dropped. And I'm hoping Thomas Tuchel doesn't make the same mistake that Sven-Göran Eriksson made back in the day when it came to Scholes, Beckham, Lampard, Gerrard and all of that. He's got a similar kind of situation now with Palmer, Saka, Foden, Bellingham. Palmer, Foden, Saka, Bellingham, and I think there's another one. Who's the other? No, that's it. 4 players there. And if he's playing the 4-2-3-1, there's only 3 slots for them. Now, personally, I'd be dropping Phil Foden. Not because I've got anything against him. Not because I don't think he's a good player. But I think he's very much a system player. So you put him in that Pep Guardiola tiki-taka system, or you put him in an Italian team or in a Spanish team or something like that, then he thrives. But not necessarily for England. Whereas players like Cole Palmer, Jude Bellingham and Saka, they're a lot more dynamic. You know, like players that you just stick them in their position, generally speaking, and they'll do a job. And you unleash a player like Cole Palmer. You unleash a player like Jude Bellingham. You unleash a player like Saka. You know, and just let them swarm around Harry Kane, feed Harry Kane, and then England should do well. And just make sure the back four's disciplined and Declan Rice is disciplined. And that's great. I mean, you could even argue it would be tactically prudent to maybe drop Bellingham or Cole Palmer as well. Like one or the other. And if you really wanted to make it solid at the back, you play 2 defensive-minded players. in midfield. So you'd play, say, Declan Rice and maybe is it Elliot Anderson, stick him in there, just have them patrolling the back four, protecting them, and just allow either Bellingham or Cole Palmer to just run riot as a in a free roll number 10. Why not? And then, yeah, I'm not bothered who England play on the left, whether it's Rashford, who's actually come into some good form for Barcelona, so fair play to him. Or Gordon, not bothered, as long as they're disciplined, tactically astute, and they whip the ball in and feed Harry Kane. Because Harry Kane is still our best goal scorer, one of the best number 9s in the world, and he has been for about a decade now. And then, Saka on the right, just, cutting in. And even that young lad from Chelsea, I can't remember his name. So is it Chelsea? Oh, he's gone to Arsenal. I can't remember his name though. His name escapes me. He scored in I think the last match. Good goal as well. But his point being, Tommy Tuchel has got a couple of big decisions to make. And there's nothing wrong with dropping a couple of world-class stars, because when whichever star that you starts to get fatigued, then you've got a world-class player to bring on. There's nothing wrong with that. In terms of lack of depth up front, well, you've got Harry Kane. You've got to take Danny Welbeck if his form continues. There's nothing wrong with that. And take Ollie Watkins. Why not? Take him. We need 3 strikers. Why not? Or you could take an extra winger. Who that would be, I don't know. And then, you could play Marcus Rashford in the number 9 role, because he's done it there before. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But yeah, the only thing I ask for when it comes to England these days, I'm not even bothered if they win the World Cup anymore, to be quite frank. And it'd be nice to see them do it, and I'll cheer them if they do, fair enough, but I haven't put any kind of emotional investment into England since 2006. I'll be honest. There is curiosity and engagement, but in terms of emotional investment, can't do it. The Big D's nerves can't do it. He's got Man United playing with his emotions. He can't have England doing it as well. So I've got to pick one or the other. And Man United have made me money on YouTube. England haven't yet. So we'll be sticking with Man United for the time being. But that could all change in the World Cup next year. Might even get a couple of big things in line for the World Cup next year. But I do enjoy World Cup. It's good. Quite frankly, I'd be interested to see Cristiano win the World Cup with Portugal, and they've got a good enough team to win it. Because that would certainly blow wide open, once and for all, the greatest of all time debate in terms of football. So that'll be interesting to see, though it's a long shot if that's going to happen. I can't really see past France, to be honest. They're just absolutely amazing. But you never know. You never know. It could, in fact, be England's year. But we'll see. Anyway, what do you guys think? What would be your starting 11 for England? Thoughts in the comments, and the Big D. See you in the next one.